So, nice to see you. I would like, first of all, to thank the organizer. Stefan and the team are doing a great job every year. Secondly, all the speakers, chapeau. Thank you very much for sharing, and above all, for the participants, the FinTech community. So, today we'll be speaking about interoperability. No, interoperability. And from fragmentation to unity. I would like to challenge you in a little exercise together. And do you know this joke? There is an Italian, a Moldovan, and a Slovenian. Do you have it in Moldova, these kind of jokes? You don't. You do. Okay, now try to visualize this kind of joke in your mind. And try to think how they would look like. Meanwhile you're doing that, I always had a question: which language do they actually speak among them? So since I'm the guy with the microphone, I will tell you what I always envision. Men, average looking, and middle age. This is somehow, I hope you have more or less the same feeling about these kind of jokes, right? You're right, okay. I asked ChatGPT to draw the exact same question I gave to you. And this is what happened. Reality is somehow different than what we have in our mind, right? And this is the same in financial ecosystem. Systems are different, they speak different languages, they have localization, and the communication, as we think in our joke, might be not as easy. Fragmentation is everywhere. We have, this is a picture of the UAE FinTech ecosystem in 2024. Most likely it will be even worse this year. So hundreds of companies, thousands of brains, and data that are stored in those companies, and they are not transferred and used in a proper way to drive real innovation. So what we can do to solve this problem, and the challenge we have, how do we reach interoperability? I would like just to share a short definition of this term, which is kind of complicated. It took me more time to pronounce it than to prepare the presentation. It's the ability of different systems, application and organization to exchange data in an effective way, so that me as a user, I don't need to put effort. Back to my example, why do we, what do we expect is that at the end of every experience, we have actually a smile, right? So we do not ask ourselves, are those systems different, are interoperable, and so on. So the only thing we should do is to make those systems speak the same language. However, this is not as easy as it could sound. And sorry, I will go back. Why it's important interoperability now? Interoperability, it's important for several reasons. The first one is that we as a consumer, we are expecting it. Things that we were tolerating before, like slow services, delays, bad customer experience, are no longer tolerated. And actually, we want our digital experience to be as smooth as possible. However, to make things fast and cheap, we need not to overwhelm fintechs and the entire ecosystem with additional complexity. So we need to reduce duplication of system. We need common standards, and we need all these to enable real innovation and new business model. Last but not least, central banks are actually working on implementing this modernization. And this is due to the fact that we have erased in trade, remittances, and regional integration. In general terms, if we are speaking about interoperability, we have some certain degrees of challenges that we have to overcome. The first one is the regulatory one. Without clear rules of the game, we cannot reach interoperability, not among sectors, not cross-border. The second one is the technical layer. So we need APIs, and we need all the connectivity infrastructure required for data to be exchanged. Third is the grammar. We need the standards for the different systems to speak among them. Let's imagine to ISO 222 in payments. And the last one is the meaning. We need to make sure that when the data are transferred among systems, they keep the same meaning and they have consistency. So there are different attempts now to solve the interoperability problem. And as we have seen, we have different dimensions, both intra-sectorial ones and cross-borders. The first one I would like to share is about FIDA. Let's imagine open banking, and let's imagine open banking version 2, where the scope of the data is broader, and we allow new use cases to be implemented by the fintechs. What I mean is, let's imagine I've been working in Italy for 20 years, and suddenly I would like to buy a house in Spain because I would like to live there. What I have to do now is to produce a lot of documents and bring them to actually get that loan. With FIDA, we will have the opportunity to share all my data in terms of assets, pensions, and so on with other organizations in such a way to streamline the process. Another organization which is driving a lot of innovation in terms of interoperability is the Bank of International Settlement, and in particular their innovation hub. And they have developed several prototypes and pilots, and I will share a couple of them. The first one is Project Nexus. As you know, payment instant schemes are designed to be working in for domestic market. When it comes to cross-border, everything is much more complicated. At the moment, we have roughly 70 of those schemes, and if the only occasion or the only opportunity we have to enable cross-border payments is through bilateral agreements, meaning that one country meets with the other, they have an agreement, they have a beautiful ceremony, they integrate, and they maintain that integration. With the 70 of those, we will have 2,400 integrations to be implemented, signed, and maintained, which is unsustainable for the entire system. Of course, we have those kind of agreements. For example, Singapore and Thailand. Or recently, I spoke with the Indian counterpart, and they have implemented a bilateral agreement between India and France. Project Nexus as a main goal to enable in one hub the integration of all the instant payment scheme, the implementation of a unique standard, which is the ISO 200-102, and to have a unified rule book for the entire system. Of course, this will enable cross-border payments almost in real time, and they will be looking and working as it will be local. The second one is about is Project Aperta. It's a multilateral network that enables data sharing. BIS came with a challenge. It was focusing mostly on SMEs, and they identified basically two use cases. The first one is company in jurisdiction A that would like to open a bank account in jurisdiction B, and trade commerce. So the overall system is a centralized platform that enables the harmonization of APIs from different channels, from different open banking channels, all governed by a trust framework. The interesting part here is to notice which countries have been included in this project. We have open finance, like in Brazil. We have, again, Hong Kong comes back, a market-driven approach in Hong Kong. So there is not a regulation, and there is not basically a trust framework. We have a centralized approach in UAE, and so on. So the project itself is to test that in different conditions, over different types of open banking, it's possible to reach this cross-border data sharing. I was speaking actually a few days ago with a representative of BIS, and he said, yeah, we started, everything on the paper was looking amazing. Then when we start implementing stuff, we do actually find still issues. At Soltage, we are also working to implement something which is supporting interoperability. And the Soltage Marketplace is one of the projects we are developing, and it will enable to develop interoperable projects by integrating services of different types through a low-code and no-code approach, meaning that the involvement of developers would be minimum, and it will allow fast experimentation and fast onboarding. These also include, of course, a trust framework in such a way that all the parties involved can communicate among them in a secure and trustful way. So, do someone knows who is this guy? You know. I will then provide you a hint. He said once, if a child will design a car, that car most probably will be red. It's clear, right? Ferrari. Good. Why I showed Ferrari? Because I've been living in Moldova for 20 years now, so I would like to answer to one of those questions I heard today. It's like, how can Moldova succeed? And I would like to use a quote from Ferrari. Ferrari said once, aerodynamics is the superpower of those that don't have big engines. Moldova doesn't have big engines. We don't have, I say we because I'm living here for a lot of time. There are not a lot of funding, but there is something that I admire and I really like in Moldova. The ability of changing direction, be adaptable to situations, and to cooperate. So I think that this is, in my humble opinion, the path that Moldova should take to succeed. Speak more, collaborate more among fintechs, and try to take those trends as fast as possible. You will see around my colleagues, they're amazing. Please shake their hands, talk to them, and let's start some meaningful conversation. And if you would like to connect with me, these are my contacts and the QR code for adding me in LinkedIn. Thank you very much and have a great day.